Heroes, come out and play.
Welcome. Yes, you're in the new Providence. When niggas get to snapping like they got no common sense. When we approach with confidence, we vote with confidence. Cause I'm consist enough to throw the hardest to the fence.
And yeah, bitch, I'm on top of my game. So when you take my picture, put it in a superstar frame.
Now I get steady looks, cause I got heavy push. A playmaker with the rock, no Reggie Bush. Yeah, the fatty look kinda like a heavy book. They ready shook cause they already heard the hook.
Yeah, beer bros, come out and play. I know what time it is, man. It's your boy VO the Face back in the building. We about to get it in, and hey, cheers to the win. Let's get this one going. I got my guys with me today. Jay Reezy Rose, what's up?
When you take my picture, put it in a superstar frame.
Lock it up, lock it up. Right now, we just got you in the lower third frame right now, but it's still the superstar frame. You know what I'm saying? But we still fucks with you out there, man. Speaking about people we fucks with, we got my man Silly C in the building. What's up, Silly C?
Haha, it's your boy. Let's get him.
It's your boy.
It's your
Hey,
boy.
he may be silly, but he brought them numbers with him, so we gonna back him up because them numbers gonna back up his argument. Let's get it going. Hey man, let's go ahead and pull out them shooters and find out who's the props and who's the ops, man. We're gonna dive right into it, man. We're gonna get into those season-long bets. We want to see how those are gonna play out this year. And I got no better people with me than to break it down than Jay Reeves and Silly C. So let's get this one popping. Jay Reeves, you want to introduce your first props of the ops?
Man, them season-long bets, we starting right at the top of the list with the quarterback. I got a lot of polarizing people on this list, man. And first off, when I was compiling this list, I want to get people with numbers that were pretty close to each other, especially during my versus battle. So I'm starting with Baker Mayfield, season long on the passing yards. He's sitting at 3,850 yards in the hook, and I got Dak Prescott. He's sitting at 3,875 with a hooker walking down the street. Now I want to get to Silly C. Who's the props and who's the ops?
This one's got a lot to it. I mean, last year, Baker Mayfield, he had his career best where he had 4,500 yards with 44 touchdowns. He's surrounded by some weapons. And, Evans, Godwin, and I'm a butcher it, but Edgebuka. But with those people alone, his ceiling, is pretty high. And I do think that he's a definite possibility. But when we're talking about an actual boom, we're looking right now at Dak Prescott being a bounce back candidate, from his injury. He's got some upgraded weapons. So I look for him to be really and they lean on the pass. So I see them to be really pass heavy. I say he's a boom, definitely based on his 2023 season where he had 4,516 yards and 36 touchdowns. So I see him repeating that as long as he can stay healthy. So I'd say Dak.
Right, Jay Reeves, what do you think? You got Baker Mayfield versus Dak Prescott. Could Dak get baked in this situation?
Here's the thing with this one. I would like to say no. I really do agree with Silly C. Like, I feel like Dak Prescott could have a bounce back season because he's actually played out of the last 5 seasons. He's played 2 full seasons. So the boy is injured a lot. Baker Mayfield is on an upfield trajectory, but he had an outlier season last year. And I want to say threw for like 4,000 some odd yards, man. Do I think Baker Mayfield could do that again? Yes, I can, man. And I think I'm going to have to go with Baker Mayfield on here, being the props, and Strawberry Daiquiri being the ops, because you just can't trust him.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to disagree with you in this situation. With Dak Prescott, with the free agent signings of George Pitkins, he's the terrifier out here, but he ain't no clown, you know. So he gonna be out there, he gonna be out there crashing out, he gonna get it in, and then nothing's more reliable than the CD. Especially we got that anti-skip protection. Oh man, that CD is gonna get it in. I see Lamb just slaughtering the rest of the competition. I do see him having the better of the two wide receivers, or of the wide receiver duo that he's throwing it to. So I do think Dak's going to be able to perform well. Plus, they never really lean on the running game very much over Broncos, and I don't see them trying to give him the ball as much as Baker might be trying to give White or Irving the ball. And, I'm just thinking that Dak might be the props in this situation, even though he's projected for about 30 or about 325 more passing yards. I would say that even with that, Dak is the props, and Baker might still get that 38-50, but I do think he's the ops in this situation. Silly C, do you got anything to look at with the new additions that Dallas made?
No, I ain't got much to say about Dallas.
He
Yeah.
said, "Keep it
Yeah, I
moving."
mean it's gonna be rough, but I mean as far as the defenses in their division, like Commanders have struggled, even though they added Von Miller, who might help with the pass rushing. The Eagles gave up a bunch of touchdowns and scores in the Super Bowl, although they ran out and poured Gatorade on their coach before the Chiefs even really did anything. They still been prone to giving up a bunch of stuff. The Giants might have the best defensive line in the conference, and I do worry about them, but I still see them getting scored on a lot. I see Dak as being the props in there. Let's move to the next one. We'll stay in the division though, and we'll see who has the commanding lead. We got the Washington Commanders general at quarterback. We got Jaden Daniels, and he's taking on the Bronco, the young stallion Bo Nix. How do you think Bo Nix is going to fare in this? And Jay Reese, they're both projected at 24 and a half touchdowns. Who is the props and who is the ops?
Here's the thing, man. I think they could both get under this number, both of them. But once again, I'm going to have to go with the boy Jay Daniels. I told you, MVP of the season. Jay Daniels about to throw for 35 touchdowns this year, man. I just want to be the first one to put my stamp on it. Bo Nix could definitely get there, but here's the thing about Bo Nix. He's actually behind a really good defense. And no, he's not being hidden anymore. That genie is out of the bottle. We all know that Bo Nix can ball out. But will it be necessary if the Broncos are locking him down on defense and have a heavy run game? I don't think so. Jaden Daniels, on the other hand, he's got to go toe to toe with Jalen Hurts, the likes of Dak Prescott. So just in that division alone, man, he's going to have to throw a whole bunch of touchdowns. So I can definitely see Jaden Daniels being the props in this one.
Silly C, who do you think is more likely to go over that 24 and a half touchdowns that both Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels are projected for? Or at least over under it all?
All right, well, I hate to say it because I'm a Broncos fan, but right now I have Bo Nix projected at 23 touchdowns. Here's why.
Check the numbers.
With Denver's additions of R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, I do see them being a lot more run heavy, especially with the good defense trying to run out the clock. Really, in all of his ceiling games were matchup dependent, so it really, he was not really consistent unless the matchup was good for him. So one of the things that I do think about Jaden Daniels, and I have him currently projected at 27 touchdowns, is with him being such a dual threat quarterback, he had 891 rushing yards with 6 touchdowns, and the addition of Deebo Samuel alongside with McLaurin. That offense is built around Daniels' mobility. I feel like he again, like Jay Reese says, has potential of 30 plus touchdowns. And so we'll definitely see. I think he's the boom.
I'm going to tell you why both y'all are wrong. And I'm a Broncos fan. You see it. You see it. It's like right here. Look, you see it. I don't hide it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Broncos fan. But what I do got to tell y'all is Cortland Sutton, I do believe, is equal to the wide receiver that Debo Samuels is. You guys keep weighing in this Terry McLaurin thing like it's a signed, sealed, delivered thing. He might be sitting out. He sound like he willing to go to Le'Veon Bell the long route just because he feels like he wants to be compensated for it. We do have new ownership in Washington, but I mean, how much can we trust them to put a good team on the field? Because they're the same ownership group in the 76ers that haven't put a good team on the court and they've
Mhm.
committed to the wrong people. So if they're finding themselves paying people that they don't deserve to, and they should be paying people like McLaurin, I could see it actually being a long mixed season for my boy Jaden Daniels. And I see Bo Nix, he about to knock the stuffing out of Jaden McMuffin. I think he go for at least 32 touchdowns. That's less than two a game, but I think he'll be able to get it done. Jay Reeves, you smiling, but you know what I'm talking about, baby.
Hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, man, let's move on to the next group of guys we got here. I want to do something a little different here, man. We're going to the running backs. This is not a versus battle, man. I'm just about to run them down. I need y'all to knock them down, run through them. So I'm gonna give you the numbers, and
I
you let me know.
titled this one the Ken Bucky Derby. You know what I'm saying? Because it can Bucky Derby. You see what I did there? I'm
I
a
see what you
producer
did
too.
there.
Go ahead.
I see what you
All
did
right.
there. Hey, I'm gonna start it off with Jonathan Taylor, man. I got Jonathan Taylor sitting at 1,100 yards, 1,175 yards actually, and the hooker. We got Bucky Irving sitting at 1,000 yards in the hook, and we got the boy Jameer Gibbs sitting at 1,075 and a hook. VO, go ahead and break that down for me, man. Run through all three of them. Who is going to be the props? Who's going to be the ops? And I'm going to let you know if you're wrong or not.
All right, so what I'm gonna do to look at this one, I'm just gonna see who are you splitting time with. Gibbs, he's splitting time with Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Bucky, he's splitting time with White. We talked about him in our last episode and how productive he could be even in a limited amount of reps. I do think Montgomery and White are people that you look at as taking away from those people. So if I had
Mm-hmm.
to choose from the three, I would say JT is going to be your biggest home improvement. You know, JTT, Jonathan Tutty Thomas, you know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be your biggest home improvement for this year. And I just wonder if the other two will be able to get that production just because their talent that they're sitting next to. And I go through that every day. Trust me, I'm sitting next to two talented individuals and y'all could talk that shit, but I just always come out in front. So I'm wondering which one of y'all gonna be the Jay Reezy, Rashad White? Which one of y'all gonna be the silly Montgomery? You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for y'all to tell because I'm gonna get mine. And it's JTT in the building. That's who I think. Silly C, what do the numbers say to back that up?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Jonathan Taylor, and I'm gonna break them all down. But Jonathan Taylor, he's pretty much a volume king. He had 61% plus rushes or he had 61% of the Colts rushes. My apologies. He had 303 carries in 14 games. He's very efficient, 4.7 yards per catch in 2024, projected for 4.9 per catch for 2025. He's got a quarterback upgrade in some cases with Daniel Jones. He's definitely a check down volume quarterback, so that will definitely get him more chances at some of those short catches. And right now, I have him projected for 1,362 yards,
Woo!
nearly 200 yards above the line. He averaged over 100 yards a game in 2024, but he missed three due to an ankle. So I definitely think that he could get over that easy as long as he just stays healthy.
Jay
Um,
Reeves, that total puts him over 1,300 yards rushing. Does that put him as the props? Who's the props out of these three? Who's the ops out of these three? Choose them up.
I definitely got Jonathan Taylor sitting at the props just due to the heavy workload usage. He's a workhorse back. Like we already talked about with Jahmyr Gibbs, he has David Montgomery in the backfield. Even though I feel like David Montgomery is slowing down a little bit, I still think that he takes some of that work away from Jahmyr Gibbs. I can see Jahmyr Gibbs pushing right up on 1,000 yards and right up on 1,000 yards receiving. He can have one of those kind of type years. And as far as Bucky Irvin goes, he's a really quality back. He's just a little too small for me, man. Like the thing with Bucky Irvin is you want to keep him in the range of 12 to 17 touches a game. He had a game where he got up to like 25 touches, and that fool looked like he was wrapped like a mummy at the end of that game, limping off the field. You don't want to give Bucky Irvin that many
5'10",
touches.
5'10", 194 pounds, little guy.
You don't want to give Bucky that many touches. But so with that being said, man, yes, I'm definitely taking Jonathan Taylor as the props. The rest of these two dudes are looking real oppy to me.
Bow, 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 bow.
Now,
Somebody
one
gotta
thing
take the ops out. Go ahead, silly.
my apologies. One thing I did want to throw in about Gibbs is, he averaged 83.1 yards per game, even with Montgomery active, and he's definitely a playmaker. 20 total touchdowns in 2024. So I definitely think that he could be somebody that is a beast, and I would watch out for him.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is a big Montgomery fan, and she keeps ending on like looking at the end of the season at me. She be looking at me like Montgomery Burns sitting in the finals with David Montgomery as like her RB2, and I don't know how it keeps happening, but it keeps happening. She took him from Buffalo to Detroit, and now it's been going well. I just say if you do see Montgomery, just be wary that he can take your favorite draft prospects and spot in the upcoming draft. So make sure you be wary of that. But let's go ahead and keep it pushing. And last time Drake and Meek got together, they made that song. You might just get hit with a Rico. You know what I'm saying?
You might just get hit with a Nico.
You might just get hit with a Rico. But this time we got Drake getting together with you might just get hit with a Nico. All right, man. We got the Nico. Frico Suave, man. Our boy
Ari,
Nico is in the
Ari.
building. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Whatever. We don't get paid to dance. This ain't TikTok. We're here to give y'all advice. So the over under on Drake London is 1125.5, and the over under on Nico Collins is 1150.5. Who is more likely to go over their number? Silly C, what say you?
Right now, I have Nico smashed to go over his number. I mean, he had 23.8% overall target share, even with Diggs and Dale active. So right now, I think he gets a lot of targets. He did miss some games, 5 games in 2024, but I would say he's the smash if he's healthy. Now, Drake London, I do still see him being slightly over, and he's a volume monster. He had 158 targets. That was 28.3% of their targets, and he had 24 red zone looks. So he's definitely getting looked at in the end zone. So I look at him scoring lots of points that way, and he's slightly over. I currently have him about 1,140 yards. So I would say he's slightly over.
Man, so they got Drake getting about a quota of their passing even targets. Um, Drake London against Nico. Jay Reeves, where do you fall? You might just get hit with the Nico.
So here's the thing, man. The thing with Nico Collins is he's really explosive player. He actually has a good quarterback throwing him the ball. The only thing is they have a trash offensive line. A couple other dudes in the fold with Christian Kirk and the boy, I want to say Jaden Higgins, the rookie coming over. Nico could easily soar over this number, but he has been banged up the last couple of years with the weak offensive line, not being able to let the routes develop downfield. I'm going to have to roll with Drake London on here, man. He got the boy Michael Penix throwing him the ball. Also, coming down the stretch, Michael Penix flooded Drake London with a whole bunch of targets last year and a whole bunch of end zone targets in the last 3 games they hooked up together with that being said, man, I think that Drake London is going to be a little bit closer to Nico's number, and Nico's going to be a little bit closer to Drake London's number, man. So I don't know, man. I think that Nico gets hit over the top of the head by the boy Drake London.
Drake. Drake. All right, man. Well, I mean, shit, we don't know which one of those receivers will end up faring off better. But let's go into another receiver. We're just gonna look at this one. We've been doing some versus battles. We've been, going back and forth. But we're gonna look at this one as just the one WR1 in Miami, possibly your fantasy team's WR1. We got Tyreek Hill. He's projected for 975.5 receiving yards. I do believe in his career, he's only went under 1,000 one time. And why would he go under this year? Jay Reeves, Silly C, who want to kick it off?
I can
I'll
kick
kick
it
it
off.
off, man. Really polarizing player. The thing with Tyreek Hill is he over the hill? So last year he dealt with the wrist injury that slowed him down tremendously. Not only that, you have to also factor in the person who's throwing him the ball. The boy Tua, who can catch a concussion at any moment. I'm going to let you guys know right now. I have my ups and downs with Jalen Waddle last year. I heard Jalen Waddle is balling out. But all these players in Miami are tied to Tua Tagovailoa. And I don't want anything to do with that, man. Because if he gets tagged and gets another head injury, then your whole fantasy team is sinking, man. So I'm good on Tyreek Hill. I think he's looking real oppy. He may be over the hill. He may get to like 969 yards, man. That's just where I'm putting him at. So, yeah.
Man, I think you being a little conservative with the Tyreek hate. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I could let you do that right now
Okay.
because I do feel like when you come down to splitting these hairs like 1,000-yard receivers, who you measuring them up against? You're measuring about two of the guys we just talked about, Nico, Drake London. You know what I'm saying? Cortland Sutton. And who would I feel more comfortable being a contributing member to my fantasy team? I would think it'd be Tyreek Hill, just that big play possibility. It's almost having like a Rocket Ishmael on your team in his prime, Darren Sproles, one of those people that could just take it the whole way. Silly C, is there anything about the numbers besides the fact he walked away on his last game with the Dolphins last year?
Mhm.
Is there anything about the numbers that's like just keeping you away from Tyreek this year?
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. Right now, I don't see him even getting close to that. I
Ooh.
actually have him projected for 952 yards with
Like the
78 catches.
numbers.
But they actually have him projected on other sites for 959 yards and 81 catches. But you saw last year his target share dip from 28.3% down to 20.8% in 2024. With the tension with Tua and the fact that he's 31, his durability is in question. I would really stay away from him. I would definitely think he's going to hit the under. The only chances he would have is against some of those big play games, and especially with Waller being added, he still is dangerous if he is healthy. So I think that will take some of the heat off him. I do think that he has a chance to get some yards, but I think he's still going to hit the under.
Hey,
So
Vio, let
Jay
me jump in.
Reeves,
Let
one
me jump.
question. Is he
Go
the
ahead.
props or is he the odds? Then expound on that.
I'm telling you, he's the ops. Let me say one thing about this, though. Let's be clear. Tyreek Hill is a very tricky player this year. Now, he can go under this number. He can sink your whole damn fantasy team where you're getting him at. But if he hits and he dropped like 1,400 yards on you with 10 touchdowns and you pick him up in the second or third round, he could possibly easily, hands down, win your fantasy league if you're willing to take that gamble on him. Hey, I am Jay Reeves the Gambler. I'm not pushing my chips all the way in on Tyreek Hill.
Raise your hand if you're trying to win your fantasy league this year. Just raise your hand. By quiet collection. Anybody trying to win their fantasy league? You ain't. Fuck out of here. This nigga superstar. He put him on his list.
One
Oh,
other
fuck out of
number,
here.
one other number to remember is he's eighth in ESPN's score, so he has that elite separation always. So big play
Obviously, that's
capability.
Tyreek. That's Tyreek motherfucking Hill. You know what I'm saying? What are we even talking about here? But I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm just the host of the show. So I don't really know where we're going. But I do know we're going to talk about two more wide receivers right now. Let's go ahead and build into that. All right. So coming up on the board, we got our boy Xavier Worthy, who got 2 touchdowns after the Gatorade was poured in the Super Bowl. After Kendrick Lamar said, it's not enough. And but it's not enough. Peekaboo. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Xavier Worthy, we got Jamison Williams. They both projected for 875 yards and a hooker on their over and under for the season. Which one's more likely to be the props? And which one's more likely to be the ops? Silly C, take it down with the numbers.
All right. Well, right now I have Worthy. Last year in 2024, he went for 925 yards in 20 games, and that includes the playoffs. So I think he's a dangerous person to definitely look at. And right now I have his 2025 projected at 851 yards. He's his average draft position's 54 impressively, but I would definitely stay away from him. Whereas Jamison Williams, now let's talk about him. I currently have him projected for over 1,000 yards, so I have him over being a smash. Pretty much just comes down to the efficiency in yards per reception. Um, and right now, he's such an explosive deep threat, and he expands the route tree just with his great route running ability. That I would have to definitely say he's got the over, and he's the props.
All right, man. Jay Reeves, this is your segment. You know what I'm saying? Which one is the props and which one is the ops?
Man, on this one, man, I'm gonna have to go with the boy J-Mo. That boy Jamison Williams is super explosive. He has great contact balance. They giving it to him on end arounds, down the field. He's rushing out of the backfield. He can do it all. Xavier Worthy actually does that exact same thing, but it's just something about J-Mo. He does it a little bit crispier. I haven't really.
Mhm.
We talked about Pat Mahomes on the last episode, man. I haven't really been trusting him over the last couple of years. They have a great defense. They're doing just enough to get by, just to get by. No Rasheed
Just to
Rice in
get
there.
by.
No Rasheed Rice in there to start the season. Possibly no Hollywood Brown. That boosts Xavier Worthy's numbers up a little bit, man. But the offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, was heard saying that Jamison Williams is going to have a breakout year. But I'm sorry to say, he already had a breakout year last year. He may have more yards than Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's what I'm projecting him at. I got the boy J-Mo looking like the props.
That's big praise. So you saying JMO could take over that number one receiver position in Detroit with that skill set that he provides, and Xavier Worthy, he just don't produce it, and like he's got his number one receivers out. Like Rice is looking fried. I ain't talking Benny Hall. Fried, fried rice is what we dealing with right now. So I mean, but if that's what you're talking about, man, go noodles over rice. Then I ain't gonna disagree with you because you are the props of the ops specialist, and you are the one who's gonna put some bread down on these to let them know who's going to finish further. And that's the one that brings us to our next topic, man, which is always a difficult one to choose. But with this one, it should be simple because the number one tight end last year was number one by a mile. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter if you finished a race by a foot or a mile, but Brock Bowers finished it by a mile. We got Brock. Bowers versus Trey
Bark, bark, bark,
McBride
bark, bark,
for
bark, bark.
reception touchdowns. Now, understand their quantities are different, but we trying to figure out who's more likely to go over their stuff. We got Brock Bowers at 5.5. We got Trey McBride at 4.5. Brock Bowers is entering a new situation with new offensive people and new coordinators and all of that. And then we got Trey McBride, who still got Kyler Murray and the offensive staff that they put out there in Arizona last year. Silly C, is there anything about the offensive adjustments that you think might hinder Trey McBride from getting from that 4.5 touchdowns?
Really, yeah. It just depends. That offense seems kind of iffy with Murray, and definitely not knowing if he's going to be a long-term quarterback. I really kind of want to kind of watch out for him. But one of the things I do want to say though is he's got a massive target share where he was getting 27% and had 147 total targets. A red zone magnet. He had 20 targets in the red zone, but he only had 2 touchdowns. So, with that being said, though, he is carrying 30% of their red zone target share and is projected for 5 to 6 touchdowns. So, I think he's kind of a push. I'd be very careful with him. But Brock Bowers, on the other hand, is projected for 6 to 7 touchdowns, and he does get 20% of the target share. And he's actually currently, tight end number one, and then McBride's number two. So right now, I would just take away that the quarterback just being so iffy over there with Murray. I just think we want to watch out for him, for McBride, should I say? So I say Brock Bowers is the props. My fault.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Brock Bowers is last year, something that hindered his production was them always being the lead in the games. No, they're the Raiders. They're always losing. They're always struggling. Something that also kind of hurt him in the red zone was having that running back, that Josh Jacob. Oh no, Josh Jacobs ain't there. He wasn't there last year. Wait, they had Darren McFadden. No, Darren
All
McFadden was
right,
there. It's the Raiders. It's the Raiders. It's not gonna happen. And that's why I differ from both of you guys because I already know which way Jay Reese is leaning. And I'm going to tell him, stand back up. Stand back up. You know what I'm saying? Stop leaning. Stop leaning. Just stand back up. Fix your posture. Because I do believe Trey McBride is going to be part of a more prolific offense. And then the addition of Ashton Genty is going to hinder Brock Bowers a little bit. Not where he's like, oh, he's a scrub now. You know what I'm saying? But no, but they're going to even out the distribution in the offense, and that should slow down games. That should make it a little bit more of a pace game and not get Brock Bowers at those astronomical numbers that he ended up at last year. And Jay Reeves, just tell me why you defer on my opinion.
Let's take it back to Trey McBride playing at Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
In his final season, he had 2 touchdowns. Last
True.
year, he had 2 touchdowns. The year before
That's
that,
all right. That's
I
full.
want to say he had 3 touchdowns. Here's the thing, man.
That's something.
Trey McBride is a PPR monster. He gets the catches, he gets the yards. He just don't score touchdowns. Now, touchdowns are real fickle beast. He may actually get over the 4.5 this year, but I'm going to have to go with the dude who had a breakout age of 18.5. This man broke out at 18 years old. He's been a beast since middle school. Brock. He's the props.
All right, man. Well, I can't disagree with you. You come in so adamantly, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought you was gonna have some half-ass argument, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I still disagree with you, and that's what we
I,
is here for, you know what I'm saying? Because we here to get it
I
in.
got.
And shout out to well, silly.
Oh, I just got a few takeaways. Pretty much of this whole piece. So if you've been watching this show, pretty much the takeaways are Nico Collins and Jameson Williams will offer you
Mm-hmm.
explosive upside. Drake London and Trey McBride are safer volume plays. Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy carry a risk due to age, injury, and usage volatility. And let me tell you, Brock Bowers is a top 10 or top tier tight end and one of your best bets for tight end.
Yes, sir. I like that breakdown.
Well, you heard it there, man. We gave you the notes, we gave you the minute, and we gave you some time to think about the bets you're going to put in for this year. Well, just make sure you check in before you check out. Remember, we get it in. And hey, cheers to the win. Cheers.
Woo! Let's get 'em.